Hi, welcome to Masterclass. I would like to introduce our guest. Her name is Jessica Brown. She is a math teacher at Indian Hill Middle School, where she has been with us for 4 years and has been in education for 9 years. Really excited to have Jess with us. Sometimes I laugh and I say I could go to like a yard sale and pick up furniture and put it in the middle of Jessica's room and she would turn it into something special. And it's because she's a real champion of STEM. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. Jess, welcome.
Thank you.
So glad to have you.
Happy to be here.
Okay, I have some statistics that I'd like to read about STEM that I think are really interesting. So the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics calls STEM careers tomorrow's jobs, emphasizing the importance of these unique industries. The median earning for all non-STEM jobs in the country is $19.30 per hour. The average median hourly wage for STEM jobs is a lot higher at $38.85. Even with the differential pay, there is a prediction of 2.4 million STEM jobs to go unfilled this year. So, Jess, hearing those statistics, why is STEM important to you?
So first, hearing those statistics, I just think about the opportunities that are out there for our students and really like what power there is for them in their future and like what change they could make and what impact they can have in our world. But for us here in STEM education, what are we doing to prepare them for that? So I think it's important that we are making sure that they know what those fields are and what they entail. Not just saying, you know, you could be an engineer or you could be a computer scientist, telling them or letting them actually research for themselves. What are those opportunities? But then having that time and space for them to build the skills needed to be successful in those fields.
Oh, I like hearing that. You mentioned the skills necessary for those fields, and often we think of science, technology, engineering, and math, but really practicing STEM is well beyond those 4 areas, and they're important skills like collaboration, decision-making, problem-solving. Will you talk to us a little bit about those skills as well related to STEM?
Yeah, so Kelly Hardings, my science counterpart, and I collaborate a lot over STEM, and we actually have a cohort of kids, all of the students who come to both of our classes engage in STEM opportunities, and at the beginning of the year, we always start out with activities that are meant to really foster those 4 C's of collaboration, creativity, collaboration, and communication. And so we will often like throw them into an activity or a challenge without really saying like, this is what I want your group to do. We really just like put an objective out there and they work on it. And then afterwards we reflect on, you know, what happened when we were working together, and we build these group norms that kind of help guide their collaboration later. And we take those group norms that they built, it's their language, it's what they felt through those experiences, and we bring them up every time we step into a new challenge, saying this is what you guys said that you thought you should do as an individual, what you should do as a group. And it really helps like guide and put purpose to our collaboration. How should we communicate? Are we thinking creatively, and are we hearing each other? And so after each challenge as well, we go back and reflect on those norms, and then we start the next challenge with what was our last reflection. Do the challenge, reflect on those norms, and come back, and it just helps really like foster building those different skills.
I can appreciate this so much because sometimes what we hear from students is, how is this going to apply for me in life? Like, why am I learning this particular subject? So by combining science and math in a purposeful way, it really lets our students to have that practice of how to apply skills versus just learning something, memorizing something, and rotating that information right back to the teacher. So here's a question for you. You have been a teacher for quite a few years now. I would love for you to reflect, how does it feel different for you when you maybe first started to teach where you were just a math teacher or just a science teacher versus now in this collaborative relationship that you have with another teacher that allows you to teach across curriculum?
I'm gonna think about that for a second.
Sure.
I think like the best thing that has come out of our collaboration together is that we can take our kids and kind of remove them from the standards of math and remove them from like the standards of what we're supposed to be teaching in science, and really look at more broad principles that we're really trying to get across the board to them, that they're going to take from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. So in thinking about like our STEM work, we follow the engineering and design process, and we build our lessons based on that process. Not necessarily are we hitting these standards, so that they can experience going through that process and that cyclical cycle.
Yeah.
Going through the process and being able
Yeah.
to design and create, try things out, fail,
Yeah.
try again. And really honing in on that, as well as like we couple it with some of the mathematics practices of like problem solving and persevering and reasoning abstractly. Like there is math and science that we're making connections to. It's just not so focused on what is a 7th grader supposed to learn in math and science. It's skills that hopefully they'll take and use in various ways as they move on.
You talked about the role of failure, and I just want to highlight the importance of that. Some words that are often described as important life skills are grit or perseverance. And occasionally you'll see an article that talks about the opportunity to fail within school. And I always want to be careful about that. I don't think failing is not learning. I don't think failing is in something that's high risk for a student. For example, like the association of a letter grade overall for a class. Failing is the opportunity to try something, to have a hypothesis about your own learning, to try it, and when it doesn't work out, to then try again. Like, and I think that's such an important part of their experience as students.
Yeah.
So I really celebrate that.
I would agree with that. Like having this, so we carve out time from our classes to engage in this, and our kids do not get a grade. There's not this pressure of like, you've got to create something magnificent. It's really like, where do you want to go? And so when things don't work out, when they have ideas and they don't work out, they're not, I guess, they don't feel that failure. They see it as like, okay, I want to try again because I want to improve.
Yeah.
But they're not worried about, I have to make this A. I need to get at least
Right.
a 91% or, you know, what have you. They're really trying to think through, how can I make this design or this product better?
And isn't that what we want? We want our students to thrive as learners, not necessarily as someone who just gets straight A's. Congratulations to those people who do, but to really thrive as learners.
Yeah.
So there are probably some people out there who are thinking, okay, I'm in, you've sold me, what can I do at home? So give us some good tips for what students can do at home related to STEM.
Okay. I just think of some resources that are very accessible and can help either give exact projects to implement, or they might just trigger ideas. So Daily STEM is such an awesome tool. It's a website. Chris Woods is the head of their podcast, so there's a podcast you can listen to. But as you browse through through the website, there's just like a plethora of of like ideas and tasks or projects, like mini projects that you can do from home. And you don't have to have like the latest, greatest technology. Like they're very small scale and accessible. But as well, you can read through and just see like stories of children across the world doing different things, and that could create some ideas of what a student might want to do at home. Also, like I'm thinking of like John Spencer. Like I've been impacted and inspired by him just going to his website, and Kelly and I are starting to kind of brainstorm a new STEM project we haven't done before, and it's not exactly what he shares, but you know, it came from his ideas. And I think that's another thing is, you know, how can you be inspired by others to kind of come up with your own problems to solve? And then beyond that, like doing your own research or kind of finding stuff to use, I would say if your child comes to you with a problem they want to solve and maybe you don't have the answers, just walk alongside of them. Like allow the space for them to do that, and them seeing you solve the problem with them, I think impacts them even more as well.
You mentioned John Spencer, and I just want to make sure I have the right person. That's the author of the book Empower. Is it that John
Yes,
Spencer and
and
Launch?
Launch.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Those are some really great recommendations. As we finish out, can I ask you some rapid fire questions?
Yes.
Okay. Since Thanksgiving is right around the corner, favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Oh my gosh, my sister's collard greens.
Oh, that sounds
so
so good.
good.
So good. One of your favorite places to vacation?
I would say any beach, just on the water.
And I'm lucky enough to know that besides being a really incredible teacher and human being, Jess is also a really great athlete. So your favorite sport?
Baseball for sure. I was a softball player, but I love baseball.
Well, we are lucky because what we love is we just love you. And I feel so lucky that you have been teaching for 9 years and I've been in education a little bit more than 9 years. And every time I have an opportunity to be around you, Jess, I learn something. So I'm really thankful for you.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you, everybody, for being part of the masterclass.